السلام عليكم وأهلا بكم في قناتي حيث أعلم اللغة العربية. اليوم أريد أن أعطيكم 5 نصائح كيف تتعلم اللغة العربية. Now, I've learned Arabic from nothing, so I have a pretty good idea about what it takes to go from 0 to Arabic speaking. My first tip actually isn't really related to the language specifically, but it's about a time and a dedication thing. So let me just explain. Tip 1, how much time are you going to need to learn Arabic? Are you going to spend 5 minutes a day? Are you going to spend 20 minutes a week? You will have to give up something in order to learn this new language. If you think that you can go about your daily activities and keep up with your squash and your yoga and your nights out with your friends and your latest Netflix show and learn Arabic and just squeeze it into all the gaps, then you're probably kidding yourself. You will have to give up something. Something has to go. When learning a new language, I'm not one to give a specific amount of time, but if you can't spend, say, 2 hours a week, ideally an hour a day, so 7 hours a week minimum, then it's almost questionable whether or not you're going to make enough progress to keep yourself motivated to go. So time, you need to give something up that you currently do in order to study Arabic. Maybe you've just finished exams, right? Or maybe you've just finished your course at uni, or maybe you've just quit your job, or maybe you've just changed jobs and you've got a lot more time on your hands. That's a great time to learn a language because you've got more time on your hands which you can then fill with learning Arabic. Secondly is commitment. So you need to be committed, you need to be motivated. To stay motivated to learn Arabic, everyone's motivation varies. Maybe you live in the Middle East, maybe you live in Kuwait, maybe you're an expat in Dubai, maybe you've gone to work in Qatar, maybe you're visiting Syria or Urdun on holiday. Whatever your motivation to learn Arabic is, try and remember that and try and write it down when you start. I am learning Arabic because by this date I want to be able to say this, this and this. These are generic tips, but motivation is so important. And if you have an Arabic speaking friend who can motivate you along the way, that will really help. Tip number 2 is you need to choose a dialect. Now, this is such a common question I get asked. What dialect do I learn? في بداية هذا الفيديو كنت أتكلم بالعربي الفصحى، لكن تقدر بعد تتعلم لهجة خليجية. أو إذا زرت الأردن، فلسطين، سوريا، لبنان، فيك تحكي بلهجة بلاد الشام. في لهجات كثيرة تتعلمها، دي هي لهجات مصرية. There are so many dialects. You can learn Egyptian, Levant, Algerian. I didn't even talk about Moroccan or North African, Algerian. There's just so many different dialects you can learn. Now, my tip for this one is to تتعلم اللغة العربية الفصحى. يعني the Arabic they speak on the television, in the newspapers and on television and on kind of most TV shows, they will speak Fusha. At least what is known in English as MSA, Modern Standard Arabic, and in Arabic language is known as Fusha. So it's formal Arabic, it's understood everywhere, and it's universally understood and spoken, although not in the streets, not colloquially spoken, but it is used as a means of communication across the Arab world. Now, my advice is learn Fusha. If you want to learn a dialect as well, then choose one dialect to learn alongside it. If you have a very specific reason for learning Levant dialect, لهجة بلاد الشام, then you can learn Fusha alongside Levant dialect. If you're going to be working in the Gulf, you probably want to learn لهجة خليجية. So learn Fusha, but learn a dialect. Do not try and learn 5 dialects and Fusha at once. They are like different languages. The words are different on so many levels, so choose one dialect to learn with Fusha. Definitely learn Fusha. It gives you a good foundation as to the language and how it works together, and it helps you in understanding the roots and the basis upon which the other accents are kind of built upon. But when you're learning, learn a dialect. If you have a specific interest, if you just love Arabic and you want to learn Arabic, just learn Fusha. And then you can choose a dialect, a year down the line, once you can say hello, how are you? Assalamu alaikum, kayf halik? My third tip is utilize YouTube. Now you're watching this on YouTube, right? You're watching my channel on YouTube, and there are so many good channels. So many. I've learned so much Arabic from watching YouTube videos, and I can't express this enough. I can't emphasize this enough. I've got some recommended channels for you. These are Isra Osh, who teaches Gulf Arabic. Fantastic channel, good phrases. From a Kuwaiti, she is Kuwaiti, she teaches very, very well, and her lessons are simple, they're easy to understand, and you can learn a lot in a very short time. You've got Spoken Arabic Simplified for the Levant dialect. Spoken Arabic Simplified, this is an American lady called Talia, who teaches Levant dialect. Amazing channel, check that out. You've got Hanan Al-Fardan, she is an Emirati lady who teaches the Emirati dialect. Again, Gulf, but even within the Gulf dialects, they still have slightly different ways of saying certain things. Kuwaitis say things slightly different from Emiratis, who say things different from Saudis, etc., etc. For Egyptian Arabic, there's a channel called Arabic Lessons with Neda. It's not specifically on the Egyptian dialect, but there are some lessons on the Egyptian dialect there. And as a side note, if you are Egyptian and you're watching this, there's a gap in the market for you to make a YouTube channel specifically about the Egyptian dialect. So maybe you can do that. So yeah, utilize YouTube. There's an endless supply of videos. So many different channels, different dialects. You could watch them all day. My advice is don't just kind of come and search for a random lesson on a particular thing. Find a channel that you like and that you know is reliable and is going to give you good information regularly, and from someone that you can trust, and maybe from someone who replies to comments and maybe has a Patreon or something, so you can ask them direct questions, which by the way I do. But in all seriousness, you need to find a YouTuber who can actually give you depth and clarity on the questions that you have. So use YouTube, use the resources, the free resources which are on YouTube. I myself personally have about 30 videos just teaching Arabic phrases to get you started. I've got Arabic alphabet lessons, I've got Arabic phrases videos, and like the channels I've just mentioned as well, there's just so much out there. You're never going to be short of learning resources, so use it wisely. Stick with channels that you know and you trust. Don't waste time searching around, bouncing around random videos and going on all the suggested this and recommended that. You'll end up going off track. But choose channels that you trust, like the ones I've mentioned, use them. And that takes me on to tip number 4, which is keep a record of everything you learn, especially in the early days. Record everything you learn, whether it's in a notebook or on a piece of paper or on a Word document or on a flashcard app like Flashcards Plus or Cram.com, Chegg, Tiny Cards, Duolingo. I think Tiny Cards is the Duolingo app. There's lots of different apps, and choose whichever one you want. I don't have relationships with any of these particular apps. I've used Flashcards Plus, and I've used Tiny Cards, and I've used Cram.com. They're all a little bit different. They all have their good points and bad points, but keep a record of what you learn. You need to be tracking your progress. If you learn 30 words in a day, that is fantastic, but if you don't write them down, if you don't keep a log, and then revisit those 30 words a few days later, you won't know that you ever learned them because you will have forgotten them by the time you see them again. You'll know, oh, it looks familiar, but I can't remember what it was. To remember a word, to memorize a piece of vocabulary, you need to be exposed to that word through seeing it, hearing it, reading it, writing it 10, 15 times. Depends who you are. If you're really, really, really smart, some people can just look at it and kind of just remember it instantly. If you make another connection with it by linking it to something, then of course you remember it quicker. But generally, you need to be seeing these words, these new words that you learn several times. And in the early days of learning, vocab is really the key. Just learn vocab. Once you've got 1,000 words in your head, once you know 1,000 words, then you can start to putting them together, and you can start to make sentences with them and actually start speaking Arabic. Tip 5 is an important one. There is only so far you can go in learning Arabic with YouTube videos and flashcards. Now that level is pretty far, but there's going to become a stage where you want to develop your fluency. Now I've lived in the Middle East, I've been surrounded by Arabic people everywhere. I've taught in Arabic speaking schools in the Gulf, and I can honestly say that there's nothing quite like the immersion that you get being in that environment in learning a new language. However, there is a very, very, very good alternative, and that is to sign up with an online Arabic teacher who you meet for an hour a week, 2 hours a week, an hour a month, whatever you want, and just have a chat and get their native speaker advice. Advice from a native speaker is invaluable. The site I recommend is italki, and it's an amazing site. I've tried some of the other competitors as well. There's a few different ones, but italki is honestly the best, and there's a link in my description about that and a link in my comments as well. I do have a relationship with them as well, so if you do go through the italki link, then you'll be supporting my channel as well, and they are honestly a really, really good site. It's so modern. You can find a guy out in Egypt who's got a degree in Arabic, a degree in English, a degree in this, degree in that. Fantastic, lovely, friendly people, and the prices are extremely reasonable. So I really, really recommend you to check out italki and try it. Just experiment with it, see how you get on, and then let me know as well. In addition to having a native Arabic speaker, online Arabic teacher, then if you want to be able to ask me tips and advice from the perspective of someone who is an English native speaker, who has learned it and gone through all these processes, then you can do that as well. The best way to do that is for you to join my Patreon, and that's the way where you can contact me, you can ask me for help. I will literally be your kind of on-call guy to give you tips and help with English or Arabic. Probably Arabic if you're watching this, but I know a lot of my audience as well are Arab. So if you want English help or Arabic help, you can join my Patreon at patreon.com/ArabicMike, and just go there, see my page. That explains everything, what it's about, and that's my final tip. So those are my 5 tips on how to learn Arabic. I really hope they are helpful to you, and I hope they make your language learning journey more rapid, more smooth, faster, smoother, and more enjoyable. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you being here. I put more videos up there, and I will see you again very soon, inshallah. Ma'a salama.